Hello, Dagger boys! What if I made you an interesting and well-balanced adversary so you can use in your games, or I don't know, just be inspired? This is a fresh-born Daggerheart channel. I'm testing for stuff that you guys will gonna like it, and of course I'm gonna like to do. This is a new format inspired by the master Dungeon Dad. On his channel, he takes old Dungeons and Dragons monsters and repurposes them for the new rules. If you like D&D and still doesn't know him, I strongly recommend his channel. He's my favorite D&D creator. And I believe and hope that Daddy doesn't mind me using his format. I mean, he does not cover Daggerheart on his channel. Of course, I can't exactly do what he does because there are no old adversaries in Daggerheart. But it happens to have a lot of folklore and classical monsters that Daggerheart core rulebook does not cover. So I studied the core rulebook and I think I got just how they balance their monsters and adversaries in general. In this format, I will pick an until uncovered adversary, explain his folklore origins, explain its behavior, and provide you with balanced and unique mechanics for you to use in your games. And at last, we will explore some hook ideas to get you guys inspired. Shall we? I am Babu, and today I bring you a new adversary for Daggerheart, the Doppelganger. The original Doppelganger wasn't a copycat monster, it was a bad omen. Seeing a ghost of yourself meant your death was approaching. Curiously, this omen has slightly different interpretations in different cultures across the world, but they're all quite bad. A ghost double could be a nice idea, but today we're covering the classical Doppelganger we are used to see in pop culture. It is not a bad omen, but a monster that kills and takes its victim's place, hiding in plain sight among society. This interpretation is quite recent, from the 19th to the 20th century, and later we have Dungeons and Dragons to thank for solidifying it in pop culture. The Doppelganger is first of all a parasite, a monster that parasites a community, looking for food and shelter. This definition is important because parasites are not fighters, neither predators. They're survivors. So we can safely assume a doppelganger is not a strong enemy, otherwise it wouldn't need to hide itself. It is, however, a dangerous one. This monster is, of course, born untransformed, but that should be the last time his true form is seen. A doppelganger in its true form is a fragile doppelganger, exposed. It should be terrified, desperate to impersonate another form. And once it's impersonated, it's permanent. A doppelganger will assume that form for good, only changing to impersonate another one. A safer, maybe even more socially powerful one. And what will make this monster a problem is how its transformation works. It needs a fresh, humanoid corpse. It cannot just turn into whoever it wants. Neither choose a long dead victim, that would be too easy. And this necessity makes for a dangerous monster. The boldest doppelgangers will stalk the wealthiest and more powerful victims and assassinate them themselves, stealing their place in a well-established spot in society. The shy or smart ones will look for the lonely victims, ones with no close relationships. A good-hearted doppelganger could even wait for the final breath of a dying old victim before taking her place. But it's safer to kill them in their sleep. Once it takes its form, it's permanent and indistinguishable. No perception nor magic can see through this cover. And more, this impersonation takes the victim's memories. So the doppelganger knows its secrets, its mannerism, its personality. As it is, should be impossible to find and therefore beat this monster. So I dropped 2 weak spots for your players to play around, something that should be interesting to roleplay. First, the doppelganger is simply incapable of taking the childhood's memory of its victims. A true role investigation of its past could take the monster unprepared. And why is that? Well, that's up to you. Maybe a god blessed the children of this world. Or maybe the doppelganger simply cannot attain the brain format of childs. That makes so the wise doppelgangers will take victims with no long relationships. So no close person should remember the victim's childhood. Either that, or they could investigate the victim's childhood before attacking. More of a chance to make mistakes, leaving crumbs for your players to follow. Second weakness, reproduction. A parasite life is a lonely one, but they need to find another doppelganger to reproduce themselves. A doppelganger could recognize another despite its impersonations. A sudden and strange love affair in the city could be a new case of romance, or could mean more monsters around the way. And a baby doppelganger needs to be hidden until it grows enough to impersonate its first victim. Hiding a youngling could endanger his parents' cover. And even when they're old enough, they need to take their first victim in their true form. This is the most exposed period of a doppelganger life cycle, one an experienced adventurer could capitalize on. As a community parasite, a doppelganger is a tier 1 social adversary. But of course, you could simulate a stronger and veteran version in higher tiers with the core book table. Its common motives are to spy their next victim, steal their identity, and ultimately survive. They have relatively low stats, not intense to fight. In a fight or flight situation, they should flee or try to bargain for their lives. Their only experience is espionage, their bread and butter for survival. For their features, they have a passive and an action. The action allows them to absorb the adult memories of a fresh corpse and take their form permanently. It should be noted they do not consume the corpse. It is a vulnerability and it should be disposed accordingly. Their passive makes it impossible to spot them by any means, be it magical or natural. It should be needed a deep investigation about the victim's past or a mistake uncovered by the adventurers. Like, I don't know, a corpse in the yard. A doppelganger still can recognize another, something essential for reproduction purpose. If you'd like to use this adversary, you can print the screen or grab the stat block in the description. Although stat-wise weak, these monsters make for a great array of plot hooks for all tiers of adventurers. Do your players have a favorite NPC? Maybe it's a shopkeeper, maybe it's a local cleric. What if, while traveling, they accidentally uncover an old corpse? A corpse already unrecognizable. By their clothes and belongings, they recognize their favorite NPC? But it should be impossible. This corpse is dead for so long, and they met this NPC yesterday. And let's dig deeper. After uncovering the doppelganger, will they kill it? After all, this is the guy that they made friends with. This is the guy that tended for them and took care of them in their adventures. He could even swear he didn't kill the original one, he just found it after a terrible accident. Will they believe it and keep it secret? After a traditional doppelganger adventure, our players finally got rid of the city's parasite, only to discover a hidden room with a baby doppelganger in there. Will they have the cold blood to end the infestation right there? Or will they adopt the monster, hiding it and trying to teach it to be good? Okay, enough doppel friends. Let's see how dangerous a doppelganger could actually be. What if it isn't satisfied in impersonating a lonely old lady? What if it grew up and impersonated a guard? And then, seizing the opportunity, impersonated a general, a court member, and eventually, the king himself? How long is the doppelganger impersonation the king of this nation? And what does a doppelganger does in this position? Does it facilitate for a doppelganger infestation? Maybe it has deals with other powerful entities, corrupting this realm while gathering more power and resources. Or you could actually play that classical trope with two guys. A doppelganger managed to kill and impersonate an important person, only for a seraph to find it and resurrect this person later. Now there's two of them roaming around, both with perfect personalities and memories. How do the players uncover the real one? Resurrection is not a trivial spell in Daggerheart, so this should be a high-profile victim. Or maybe you can just tweak down the adversary and take off the fresh corpse requirement. This monster is a natural-born spy. What if a villain or a guild managed to get a doppelganger spy network? Being nearly impossible to uncover and having the capacity to spot one another, They are the perfect spy net. This makes for a powerful tool at the hands of the right schemer. What if your players know there's a doppelganger on the loose, but have no way to find it? This one is experienced and clever, leaving no clue behind. With no other option, the players could have access to a spell or artifact that turns them themselves into a doppelganger. They would feel the despair of being vulnerable, the urge to take cover and find a victim. They would know how a doppelganger feels and would have the tools to identify them. What kind of secrets could they uncover with those new eyes? Maybe what they thought was a clever doppelganger is actually a huge infestation. This classical monster makes for an amazing adversary, and you could use it in various degrees of deepness. From a simple social parasite to get rid of, to an ethical and philosophical roleplay opportunity. Have you met a doppelganger in a D&D or Daggerheart adventure? Consider sharing your experience in the comments to inspire others. And if you like this format and have an adversary you'd like to see in Daggerheart, tell me about it. I had a lot of fun making this one, and I intend to bring you more. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for your time, it's valuable and I appreciate it.